All right, well, we are kind of at a stopping point on Big Rigger for right now. So what we are going to do this evening is do a little bit of tinkering, a little bit of upgrading on Fred's Genesis. So if we open it up, look inside, got 4 magnets holding it down. Set this over here. We've got the original stock motor. We have an upgraded drive line if we choose to go that route, which we're not for right now. We've got the Spektrum 120. We're going to go ahead and pop the Spektrum 120 out. Set it over here. We're going to take this motor out. We're going to take this receiver out. Since I don't have the remote or the controller for this boat, we're going to change some stuff up while we have the boat just to play around with it. So what we have is the original Wfly X9 receiver. So this is not an X9S receiver because it doesn't have the decal on the side that says new. Now, there is a way to program these. You have to go on the website, so on and so forth. You can check out Adam Everything RC. He has a video on how to upgrade and update these receivers to work with the X9S. Or you can do what I did. You can go on Amazon and make sure you find it. It says for the Wfly X9S. And this is the smaller 4-channel receiver. Now, I thought about using this, but it's going to end up being for the Big Rigger. So we're going to save that. And we're going to use this with the original Wfly. And that will be one of the 40 models that we can program. It'll be model number 4 for me, and I'll just label it Genesis inside of the remote. We also have another GPS module, so we'll be able to function the GPS module inside through the fiberglass, which will be great. So, we're going to upgrade the receiver, we're going to upgrade the motor, and we're going to upgrade the speed control. These over here are what we've got. And the reason I'm going to use the Firma 160 is because I've already got 2 QS8 plugs on it to run 2 batteries, and that's what this boat's going to want. And we're going to be running this TP motor. So you got this beautiful 3686. It's a 2060 kV. And I think this one's something similar to that. We'll go ahead and take it out here in a second, and we'll see what that tag says right below that. But this is the factory motor that comes with this boat, and this motor here and these leads will go perfectly into that ESC. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart, see what it looks like, and we'll change some stuff around. Let's go ahead and take this cooling line off and this cooling line off. We went ahead and took the 2 screws out of the front. Let's see if the coupler will slide through the block. Yeah, it does. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and see if sliding this ring off is doable. Will it go past the set screws? Kind of tight, but it's working. Okay. What does that say? 2075 kV. That is almost too ironic. And this is a 2060 kV. So very, very similar kV values. Very similar size motors. I'm going to say this is 36, maybe 74. And that's a 3686. So we'll have to change out this coupler. This is an oxidine coupler, if you notice. Pop it in right like so. It should be good to go. We got bugs. Hot diggity dog. Okay. Okay, so semi-change of plans. My Impulse 32. If anybody's been here long enough, you know that I've blown up 2 10-shock motors in this. I had originally put the same TP motor back in here, which was the 2060 kV. Now, this is not the same exact motor that I just showed you. This is its sister. So I had purchased 2 of these, one of them brand new, one of them off of eBay. I won a bid. They're the same exact motor. I was originally going to do twins in a boat, and I just ended up buying a twin instead of building something like that. Now, it still may be done in the future, but I'm taking this motor out of here because there's no need to have a 3686 and an impulse anymore. I didn't even run it. I put it in there just to replace the blown up 10-shock motor. Well, now we have the new high-powered 10-shock motor, which is right here. So this is the new high-powered 10-shock motor. The older one was a 38 millimeter. The new one is a 40 millimeter. I didn't even know that. So this is going to end up going in the impulse long term. But what we need to do is pull this out. And then we have to basically gut everything out of the inside of here and redo it, because I noticed the battery trays are breaking loose, the motor mount's breaking loose, so on and so forth. So this is going to be another redo in the future. So for the Genesis, we're going to take the motor out of here, which will be helpful, and then later on we'll go ahead and take the stuff out. So I'm working on taking this motor out, and the only reason I need to use this motor and not the other motor is strictly because of the cooling jacket. Now the cooling jacket on this, I don't have very many 36 millimeter cooling jackets. This is my extra long 65 millimeter cooling jacket. The only other ones that I have are short ones from, rocket motors or dynamite motors. So that's why I'm opting to take this one out, because it has the cooling jacket on it that I need, and I need to take it out of the boat anyways. Alright, so we got the motor out, and you may be asking me, what is wrong with the impulse as to why I'm doing this? So I'm going to show you right here. See? See where it's cracked? It's cracked from the front all the way down to here. And I don't know if we see much on the back. Camera won't focus. But basically, all down the side. This whole piece right here, see where my finger is? If we put any sort of pressure on that, it separates and comes up. Now, I attest that to the motor, the 10-shock motor, having so much torque and crashing it. The flex of the hull versus the non-forgiveness of that white epoxy stuff they use from the factory. So I've got to get in here, completely disassemble it, break everything out, grind it smooth, do a whole carbon fiber inlay, and then redo the boat in a different form or fashion. I think what this boat needs for high speed is more nose weight, because everything is positioned on this boat from the 50% point back. So to get a 70-30 CG, you damn near need to put the battery all the way in the front and the motor sitting so far in the back. I know I'm asking a lot out of this boat for over 82 miles an hour, but I think there's a better way that we can handle this. A heavier boat is a slower boat, but a heavier boat is a more stable boat. So we have to find a way to add weight in a way to make it more functional at speed, to handle that speed, because right now anything above 78 starts to chine walk. So that'll be for another video. Just kind of want to throw that in there just in case anybody just wanted to know. If you want to catch that series, check out the Impulse 32 playlist and you'll see everything on that boat from the past. Alright, so we've got the TP motor mounted, and we have come across a frustrating problem. So because the motor's longer, cooling jacket gets in the way, we don't have any rear support here. Now we could let it rock and only run one screw in the front, and that's just going to make the motor pivot up and down, and we're going to burn up our cable. So we have got to extend this piece here to make another hole back here to support the motor. So because this isn't our boat and we want everything to be able to go back stock, we can't simply just fill in these holes. And we can't simply just add a piece to this because it's going to be out further. And you'll have a gap between your screw and your piece. So what we're going to have to do is, if you follow this rail here, we're going to have to mount a piece of carbon fiber actually on top of that rail with the same angle that we have here. So it'll, essentially this piece here doesn't match the angle, but it kind of does, but it's not tall enough, okay? So we're going to have to get a piece that's tall enough that's going to come all the way up here to match that angle. But we're going to glue it, we're going to CA glue it onto this channel. And then once this piece, see if I can hold it in there. Yeah. Once that piece is CA glued onto that channel, I'm trying to mock this up to where you can kind of see what I'm going to do. So let's just say that that was CA glued, just for temporary. We're going to take another piece and glue it to the actual channel down there and sandwich both of these together in kind of this fashion here. One is going to connect to the others. One will connect to the others like that, and then the other piece will be able to do like that. So we'll have two pieces stepped on top of one another. One's going to be glued to the channel on this side, and then one's going to be like a backer plate and be able to go to that. And then we'll, you know, we can epoxy it or CA glue it or whatever we want to do. We'll probably use epoxy, but we'll just do some CA glue on the rail just to where it will cure fast. And then we'll get the other piece to go on it like so. And we'll epoxy that and clamp it and give it a day to hold. Alright, it's now the next day, and I have got my little carbon fiber pieces all cut out to extend the motor mount. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that. Basically, this little piece here is going to go and kind of just chill. It's going to be epoxied to the rail right there, right? And it's going to allow enough space to where you can still utilize that other hole. And then this piece here is going to be mounted directly on the rail. I'll try to see if it'll even fit and just hold itself there. There you go. So it's going to go like that, and the other one's going to go up against it, and it's going to sandwich itself, and then I'm going to drill a hole, and then that hole will line up with that thing to where I can actually put an Allen bolt through it. Okay, well, one down, one to go. Now we're just going to let this sit. We'll let it harden, let it set up, and then we'll move on to installing the ESC and getting it running. Alright, so we've given this 24 hours to dry. Look how cool that came out. It's perfect, right? So check this out. You're just going to grab it by the pieces and lift the whole boat up. She's good to go. Alright, now we are going to put in the receiver, the ESC, and get all the water cooling lines ready. And then all we got to do is have a day that's not raining outside and not 42 degrees, and we can run this beast. So I got that all done, and I went ahead and binded everything up, got it all working. Got the Wfly X9 receiver. We're using the old X9, not the new one. I'm running an Octora X645. It's quite a big prop, but we're only going to run this boat on 4S, so I think it shouldn't be too bad of a prop. I wanted to show y'all the Dynamite program card worked for the Spektrum Firma 160. I had to get in there and turn the timing from 15 down to 0 because that's a dewind motor, and it worked. All I had to do was put some batteries on it, plug this up to the port, and we were good to go, which I was excited about that because I still haven't learned how to do it exactly with the remote control yet. So I need to put this on the antenna. And as far as batteries, we're going to be running these SMC 9000s, the HCL HVCs, and I've got them charged to 4.3. I can go to 4.40 on this charger, but I just figured a little bit above, you know, normal, we'll get some pretty decent run time out of it. And it's kind of, it's nice weather. It's just cold outside, but I went outside working on the rigger, and the pond looked enticing. So I decided, you know what, we're going to run Fred's Genesis, and we're going to make it all one video. From fixing it up to putting the TP motor in there, the Firma 160, and we're just going to go out and let it rip and see what happens. So let's get out to the pond. Cool. So this is how we got it set up. Got them batteries there. Got that battery there. And we're just gonna hook these puppies up. Got the little dynamite GPS in there. And all we gotta do is slap it together, put some tape on it, and we'll go out and have some fun. Alright, we made it out here, guys. It's sick looking. I tell you what, it's a beautiful boat. It's a beautiful boat. The overall aesthetics of the decals and everything make it look really, really slick. So, we're gonna see. I've had bad luck with that rudder in the past, but it looks like Fred did some pretty good work on it. So, let's go ahead and just toss it in the water. Got pretty good conditions out here today. Not a big pond, but we're gonna have a little fun. He told me that this thing is really common for tipping over and flipping, so I just wanted to kind of see how it did. All right, well, here we go with the maiden voyage. 6.2. Ah, steering is reversed. I got water cooling. Need to go in the settings of my remote and switch over my steering. All right, here we go. Really wet. It gets up off, you know, really nice. Pond's not big enough for it. It turns like a dream. Handles really good right out the box. Very happy.
Receiver battery 6.2.
Looks like I got something plowing. Just based on the spray. I'm gonna bring it in and look. And I want to check to make sure I don't have like the boat full of water or something crazy like that. Alright. She's not heavy, man. She is not heavy at all compared to my Cheetah. This thing is light. So what it looked like to me, it looked like the way the water was coming off the back of this, it was actually hitting this L bracket here. So I don't really know. And it looks, let me see, the overall strut depth is pretty deep. It looks like it could come up some, but I don't have any tools with me.
6.2 volt.
And you can tell based off the depth here that it's probably pretty low. So I think what we could do is we could raise the strut up some when we make an adjustment for the big pond, and we'll go from there. But he's got the rudder nice and sharp. He's got these opened up really nicely. I was noticing water coming out of here, coming out to about here. So I was getting really good water cooling. I don't have any heat here, and I have a little bit, a small amount of heat. Let's see. So let's see what the regular hull is. 55. And then we've got 80 degrees. So we're getting a little bit of heat right where the motor is. 81. So I think we're good. I think we're good. But I do know it needs some love. It needs some adjustment. But what boat doesn't, you know? What boat doesn't? Yeah, it pulls that back right hand down. was flat out. Actually, it's a really good setup, man. I'm very happy with it. Definitely dragging that back corner though. I'm gonna say it's doing 43.
Receiver battery 6.2.
That's pegged, y'all. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and slow it down a little. That was wide open for 2 full laps. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Let's just give it a little quick on the top temperature test. Yeah, not bad at all. As long as water's flowing through it, it doesn't generate as much heat. And then right there, nothing. Yeah, I don't think the ESC is getting hot at all. The motor is definitely getting warm. Definitely getting warm. Let's see what it's like in reverse. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
Receiver battery 6.2.
Hey, I got wet. Oh, and there it goes, just like he said. Good thing we got it taped up. All right, we back up. Had to flip it with my kayak. So what I want to do, it only took me about 60 seconds. I'm gonna do 3 laps, that way I get a decent temperature and I fully drain these batteries, because these batteries seem to last a long time. All right, let's get it. Pond's calmed down too.
Receiver battery
That's good.
6.2.
I'll go ahead and bring it in. Yeah, she leans. She leans heavy on the side where that rudder bracket is. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up and check temps and check the battery voltage. Okay, it's cold out here, y'all. It's 55. My hands are wet.
Battery
Can't get her to shut up. No smoke. No smoke. Okay, motor does smell hot though. Something making a clicking noise. It's like that damn servo. Servo making a clicking noise. Yeah, old motor's warm. I propped the hell out of it though. Let's see. Yeah, about 120 on the motor. See what the ESC is. Not bad. About $1.05, $1.08 on the ESC. The wires were probably the hottest thing. 121 on the back end bell of the motor. 122 is what we got as far as peak.
receiver battery
So that's about all she wants. That prop I knew was going to be a big prop, and I guessed 43, I believe, and it did 45. So not bad. Not bad for 4S. And a dragging ass system here. This whole back piece I think is catching water. You can just see it. It sprays a hellacious spray. go ahead and open these up. We'll pull out these SMC batteries and we will see what kind of voltage we got. They're warm. They're warm. I could tell yeah, look at that, 129. I could tell they were getting low on voltage. She just didn't have that much power after I flipped it. All right, let's check the voltage. All right, yeah, see, if I wouldn't have made those last 3 laps, we would have been all right. I got 638, 637 on this battery, and I got 3.71, 3.71 on this battery. So we don't want them any lower than that. No lower than that. That's a little too low, but not bad. Not bad. That's why we got the temperatures we got out of them. Plus, I was pushing them a little hard right there at the end. But, you know, 45 miles an hour, maiden run. We know what we need to do. We need to make a strut adjustment. You know, the owner of this boat, it is not my boat. I'm just shooting some content with it. He said, play with it all you want, so that's what we're doing. Looks like my motor supports held. Didn't burn no liner up, so we're good to go there. That prop's probably too big for it, but I don't run it on anything else, so I felt like it was a good thing to try to run it on this. And other than that, I think it'll be fun to put this thing on 6S, put a small prop on it, maybe a 42-16 3-blade, and see if we can bust like 65 or 70 mile an hour. I think the motor is capable of it. I never really had good luck with these cooling jackets doing optimum cooling, but when we do run it on, you know, 6S, we're going to have to run 1 or 2 passes and then let it sit for a couple minutes and let it cool down. It is not a basher setup on 6S. The motor is probably what's going to get hot. And the last time I ran that motor in the Impulse, it did the same thing. It got hot. But we're asking a lot out of it with a 645 Octora. So, other than that, y'all, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Fred, shout out to you. Thank you for letting me borrow the boat. It is cool. You are right. It does flip easily. Definitely not a boat you want to have unless you have a good way to rescue it, whether that be a RC tug or, in my case, a kayak. It's just very narrow. It does kind of lean, you know. The Cheetah Cat really handles superior in comparison to this thing. But I just look at this like this is kind of like the Impulse. It's a really good, fast, straight line boat. And maybe that's just what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.